Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure, host.
It is good to be in your presence all the time.
Thank you. And we've got a great show today.
We've got a great show today. Everybody's aspiring to be...
Yeah, we got a gubernatorial candidate.
Yes, aspiring to be able to be a help to the community and to the state of Indiana.
Big job.
Big job.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk with a brother today by the name of Brian Roth.
Yeah.
He's going to make sure we knows what we know what's on his mind and in his heart for the state of Indiana.
And his campaign is different than what people might be used to, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah. Our sponsors, Lee Costello and Crawley.
Yeah, and then we also have Marion County Health Department doing a lot of work in our community. Believe it or not, they're doing some outstanding work. Fervent Care Christian Academy is with us. Not only that, we're getting ready for
the Give-a-thon.
The Give-a-thon, Changing Minds, Changing Lives, December 7th.
And that's 1 to 5 p.m. live right here on WHMB TV 40. It's going to be amazing. I want to thank WHMB TV 40 last year that we did this.
Yeah.
Over $80,000.
Over $80,000 in 4 hours.
Yeah.
We got an extra hour this year. Hopefully we can do $150,000.
We're going to do that.
And make sure this happens, that those students at Martin University can have an opportunity to finish their degrees.
Yeah, it's so important.
It's so important. Not only that, I think they have another major project coming along.
Yeah.
That will extend some greater opportunities to those students at Martin University.
This will be a good thing. Dr. Huddleston is the new president over there.
Yeah, and he's in transition and he's doing a great job trying to make sure we understand what's happening with Martin as they go into this new era of leadership.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about with regard to that at some point. But the balance of our time, we'll be talking about politics to some degree. We'll be back in just a bit to tell you all about it. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. We're glad that you joined us. We've got Brian Roth here. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Pastor. Thanks, Doctor. Appreciate you letting me be here today.
Yeah.
And thanks for taking out time to be here.
Absolutely.
22 years in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
And now you want to run for governor.
That's the plan. That is the plan. So.
Governor of the state of Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Big job.
Yes, sir. Very big job.
So I just put that out there about the Navy, but tell us about Brian.
Sure. I grew up in Upland, Indiana, the big metropolis we're home of Taylor University. So small town. My parents both worked at Taylor. My dad taught physics for 33 years. My mom was the nurse at Taylor, so very few people know my dad, because not that many physics majors, but everyone knows my mom because everybody got sick at some point, it seemed like, when they were at Taylor. So it's about my entire growing up years there. Once I finished Taylor, I also had a degree in physics, joined the United States Navy, or I like to say we joined the United States Navy. People don't join the Navy, families do.
Right.
So we joined, we being my wife, Sharice. We've been married 31 years. We have 3 kids. But we spent 22 years in the Navy, 12 of those on active duty in the submarine force, and then 10 in the reserves. Submarine time was great. I loved the Navy. My wife had the tough job. She had 3 kids she had to stay at home with. I got to do the fun stuff, go to sea. You may not think that's fun, but it was fun for me.
Now you're going to make her the first lady of Indiana.
Well, we're working on that. We're working on that. She would be a terrific first lady. She is certainly, she's certainly the better of the 2 halves that we have here. So she'd be a great first lady. Once I got out of the Navy, of course, stayed in the reserves, and I went into the power industry and ran power plants for 17 years. Well, ran power plants for about 10, and then did the corporate thing for about 6 years. All of that time really shaped my leadership. I really started in the Navy when I showed up to my first submarine, coming from a small town. I assumed if you were the commanding officer of a nuclear-powered submarine that you were a good leader. I didn't have any other reason, I guess, to think otherwise. Got to my first submarine, I'm like, okay, well, either that's good leadership and I don't know what it is, or it's not, and I need to figure it out. Well, it was door number 2. It wasn't, and I needed to figure it out. So really became a student of leadership, kind of how people interact and how even coaches can go from one place and be successful, the next place not. I mean, what is this whole leadership thing, and how do we make it touchable and tangible for somebody? Leadership for so many people sits way up here. Management maybe is something they can touch. It's more tasks driven. We like to say leadership and management are equally important but different. Management side is very task-driven. I can put on a list and check it off. But leadership sits too high for too many people, so they don't know what to do with it. They can't really define it. So we try to bring it down and make it touchable and tangible, and that's what we've done a lot of our time, and that's what we do full-time now. We own a leadership consulting business where we do training and development primarily. But many people have said, what equips you? You've never been in politics. Nope. Never run for office. Nope. Why would you be doing this, and why would you be running for the highest office in Indiana? I don't know if you have those questions, and you're supposed to be asking me those questions, so I apologize. I'm kind of just asking my own questions, which I probably shouldn't be, but apologize for that. But what equips me, one, is leadership. The executive branch does lead and manage. There's execution things. But in the end, leadership is really what should be the focus of the executive branch of government, or the focus of the governor. I understand leadership. I understand how to lead people. I understand how to point people in a direction. I understand how to bring people together. One of the big arguments, or one of the big disappointments in politics today, is there's no unity. We think we can do that. We think we can bring people back together. We think we can point people to a common destination. And then we can debate how to get there. We like to say that we can make Indiana a united but independent Indiana. What does that mean? It means united in destination, but independent in pathway. If we all agree we're going to go to Disney World in Orlando, we can debate all day how the best way to get there. But if you want to go to Disney World and I want to go to Disneyland, there's no pathway. That's politics today. Republicans go one way, Democrats go another way. I think we can bring that together. I'm not a party person, so to speak, right? You'll say, oh, what's your involvement in the Republican Party? Well, I've been a registered Republican. That's my involvement, right? I'm probably an independent thinker more than I am anything else. We think we can bring all that to the state of Indiana in a very different, unique, maybe uniquely different and uniquely better way. So we think that background in the Navy, we think the background in the power industry, in the corporate world, all of that leadership experience we've obtained, we think we can bring to the government.
Question.
Yes, sir.
We have a governor now that is strictly on party line. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
We have a supermajority who's strictly on party line.
Yes.
How would you bring Democrats and Republicans together based on your theories?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is you have to bring them together on destination. We have to agree that where we want Indiana to go, there has to be some agreement there. So, for example, I don't think Republicans, Democrats, governor, supermajority, if I walk in and say, do families matter? I doubt they're going to say no, right? They're going to say yes. If I say, should kids be the focus of education? They're going to say yes. Now, is that happening today? No, of course not. Kids are not the focus of education.
Are you suggesting that they're lying?
I'm suggesting that we don't have...
Let me retract that. Are you suggesting they're telling some untruth?
I'm suggesting we don't have a unified destination that we have to go to. Look, I mean, we can look at great leaders in the past, but let's just take the one that we all probably think is the greatest. Jesus, what did he say when he showed up? Yeah. He said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, or is near. And then what did he do? Started healing people, feeding people, doing all those things. But he first said, here's where we need to go, right? Here's the destination. What happens in politics too often is people just focus on issues. I had a guy the other day I was talking to who said, well, you're a little different. I'm like, well, that's probably an understatement, but yeah, I'm a little different. He said, most people are issues people. They're like issues that you're painting this picture. And I said, yeah, because here's the problem. Issues are dots on a whiteboard. But there's no picture that's connected there, right? We have 3 young grandkids, and you do those dot to dots where it's just dots initially, but at the end it's a picture. Issues ought to form a picture. In other words, if we know where we're going, the issues ought to be the things that get us there. So we have to be united first. We have to agree that kids matter, families matter, education matters, and we have to go there. And then everything we do to debate how we get there has to push us closer to that. It doesn't today. It doesn't today because we don't have that unified destination. So Republicans go one way, Democrats go the other way. Party line here, party line there. There's no connection, and you either like it or you don't. That's not who we are. That's not what we think works. That's not what we've done in any other place we've been. And so we're very confident we can bring people together, even though the system, which doesn't, I don't think, work for Democrats or Republicans at this point, even though the system will fight against us.
So you talk about the family being the cornerstone. So talk to us about some of the plans you have to really kind of put that out there on the forefront.
Sure. Yeah, we're still working to get on the ballot. So the first challenge we have is actually showing up on the ballot. And we're working to do that. Until we get there, we're going to continue to talk a little bit higher level. In other words, we're going to continue to point people toward a destination, like families are the cornerstone of society. Now, that's not something I made up. right?
no return.
That comes from the first couple books of the Bible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, first thing we had was the family. Before anything else, before the church, before government, was the family. So everything is built off the family. The society is built off. So it is the cornerstone. And the cornerstone is that key piece of a foundation that the entire structure depends on. When the cornerstone isn't right, the whole structure is in jeopardy. So what we have today is we have, in general, a government that tries to mitigate or minimize symptoms, but they don't really solve problems. In other words, we have societal issues. It's not anything new. There's been societal issues ever since there's been people, but we have societal issues that just get mitigated or masked. We think we can solve them by really focusing on the family. Now, does that mean the government needs to do that? No. The government needs to get out of the way. It needs to support and encourage, but there are great organizations out there that deal with families and kids. I know you guys had somebody off of Families First. I worked in Fort Wayne for a while with Lifeline Youth and Family Services. There are terrific organizations out there that can do this. The government just needs to empower them and encourage them and step out of their way, not make it so difficult. They keep getting in the way of organizations that can really restore families better. So we strongly believe families need to be our focus, and if we can equip and encourage and educate and empower families, elevate families, we think we can remove, eliminate, dissipate societal issues. We really believe that with everything.
All right, we're going to stick a pin right there. We got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll
be
have
right
more.
back.
Perfect,
Yeah, we'll be
thanks.
right back.
This is interesting.
Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're with Brian Roth, gubernatorial candidate, coming up. And you talk about status quo politics.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that and your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the political system, we really think is the problem. Somebody asked me again the other day, you have something against Governor Holcomb? I have nothing against the governor personally. Matter of fact, you could change it and replace Governor Holcomb with Governor somebody else. But if that person was a product of the system, we would run against them. It's the system that's the issue. Our current governor is a product of the system. What do I mean by that? There are institutions that govern our existence, or systems, if you can call it that. Family, church, government or politics, business, education, media, arts and entertainment, healthcare. They govern our existence. They should be equally important, and they should sit side by side. They should do what they were designed to do. That's not what we have today. Today we have the political system sitting on top of these other systems, and it squeezes them. And it pulls power, influence, activities away from them. The government has decided, the political system has decided that it's now the moral authority, pulling it away from the church. It's not the moral authority, right? We've put the moral authority in the hands of politicians. Does that make any sense to anybody? Doesn't make sense to us. We believe moral authority goes back to the church where it's always belonged. They pull things away from family, education. They're squeezing the education system, the political system is. It sits on top and just squeezes it down, where teachers no longer teach and then no longer bring innovative and creative solutions that are fun and exciting and engaging for the kids. But they teach to a test in order to meet the funding formula so schools continue to get the funding they desire. We don't want that. All right, we want to get the political system realigned with the other systems, get it back where it belongs, push power out to local school boards, re-empower teachers, let them teach again, right? Ultimately elevate students to where they belong as the focus of education. We think we can do that, and we can do it in 4 years. We're only running for a single term. Mm-hmm. We're not looking to be reelected. We don't want to get anything from the system. We just want to deliver something to the system. And along those lines, we're going to donate our salary to nonprofits in the state of Indiana. And you go, Brian, that's easy. You're obviously independently wealthy. No, we're not. You can ask my accountant who doubles as my wife. She would say, no, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but we're not looking for a job here. We truly want to serve the people of Indiana. We want to realign this political system. We think we can. If we can realign the political system and push power back out to where it belongs, these other systems, and to the people, right? I mean, right now we have a government of a few, by a few, for a few. Our estimation. We want to try to return that to a government of the people, by the people. Push power back out to the people. It's always been the people's. Read the anything the Founding Fathers wrote. It was never the government's power to begin with, yet the government's pulled it away. So when we say status quo politics is limiting Hoosiers' potential, that's what we mean. We mean the political system is crushing or squeezing these other systems and not letting these other systems really do what they were designed to do, help the people they were supposed to help. And that's what we want. We think we can realign that. We think we can do it in 4 years.
Well, and you're saying that you still got to get on the ballot.
Yes, sir.
And
Need the signatures?
We do need the signatures, yeah.
How many you need?
We need 500 registered voter signatures in each of the 9 congressional districts.
How you doing with it?
Well, I don't have numbers yet, but I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I think we're doing great. So we've been at this about 3 weeks. We have about 40 volunteers helping us. About half of those we don't know. People have reached out to us and said, we are hungry for something different, and what you got is very different and unique. We've not heard people talk like this before. We want to help any way we can. We say, well, you can help us get signatures. So we think we're doing really well. Talked to a few people the other day, and 83 here and 35 there, and you start adding that across 40 or 50 people. We're doing really well. We're hoping to be able to have our signatures in about 2 months, which is very fast. I think it took the governor about 3 months to get his. So, but we're hoping by Thanksgiving we're ready to be on the ballot, and we have enough signatures to do that. And we're trusting the Republican Party will put us on the ballot. They won't play some silly games and try to keep us off the ballot. If we have the signatures, we're hoping they put us on the ballot like they should. So,
well, we've got quite a few people watching, and perhaps you could make an appeal to those folks in camera 3 over there.
Look, all we're really trying to do is realign the political system and all these other systems, re-empower people and systems that should be empowered, give power back to the people, give empowerment back to educators. We know we can do this in a short period of time. We're not minimizing the effect of the economy. I haven't said anything about the economy yet. The economy matters. It still matters. Infrastructure projects that support an improved economy, they still matter. But that's not enough. That is not enough. The future of Indiana isn't in our economy, our infrastructure. It's in our kids. It's in our kids, or in our case, our grandkids. That's who we need to focus on. That means we need to focus on families. We need to focus on education and bring real solutions, not solutions that are party solutions. We have to get away from this notion that ideas come from political parties. They don't. They come from people. Those people may be organized into 2 parties, but the ideas come from people, not parties. And we have to get out of this idea that if it's a Republican idea and I'm a Republican, it's a good idea. And if it's a Democrat idea and I'm a Democrat, it's a good idea. That's simply not true. Some Republicans have bad ideas and some Democrats have bad ideas, and some Republicans have good ideas and some Democrats have good ideas. And that's what we're going to bring back again. That's this unified, or this unity that we're looking to do again. So we know we can do this. We're confident in what we can do. We need your help getting on the ballot. You can certainly go to brianroth.org. And reach out to us that way, or send us an email at brian@brianroth.org. But any help we can get from you, we certainly appreciate it. We're excited about the opportunity, and we're grateful that you guys gave us the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you very much. Welcome. All the best, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah.
Once you get on the ballot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll come back and lay out all the issues.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thanks so
Bless
much.
your spirit.
Thanks, Doctor.
Stay with us. We'll be back with the rundown in just a bit.
Real people, real voices, keep it real.
Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm your executive producer, Faith McKinney.
Could we start off, Faith and Brother Jackson, talking about our sponsors?
Absolutely. Lee Kossel and Crowley.
And we also have Marion County Public Health Department, who's been with us, and the Fervent Care Christian Academy, and
Martin University's Give-a-thon, used to be called a telethon, but it's a give-a-thon, changing minds and changing lives. I think it should be challenging minds and changing lives.
okay,
December 7th.
yeah, great,
I'm gonna
great.
change the slogan.
Great, great. Yeah.
Live on TV 40, December 7th from 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5, 5 hours?
Yeah.
4 hours.
4 hours, 4 hours.
4 hours.
And we're going to be working with it, and we're going to raise.
And you're one of the hosts.
Yeah, I happen to be one of the hosts. Thank God for the privilege and opportunity But we work with a great station,
We do.
WHMB TV, Channel 40s.
Great team.
In all aspects of communities, they're willing to come and work with people who will work with them.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're a part of that team.
And
Me too.
And last year, the team, everybody working together.
Yes,
we
we
were
all
blessed
worked.
to raise
That's
a
right.
little more than $80,000.
$80,000 last year. For the first time in the history of the school, has it raised that much in 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're looking forward to this year's give-a-thon.
Yeah.
And certainly want you all to get ready.
Get ready, yeah. Make your checks payable to Martin University. Make sure you do the best that you can with what you have to work with. It's the only Afro-American institution that we know of here in the state of Indiana. And it's accredited, highly accredited.
Yeah.
And we want you to become a part of that. I think they're going to have some other things going on as it relates to enhancing the students, as it relates to a new piece. They're going to try to add a major classroom there that is going to be fully equipped, that I'm hearing, with the computers and things of that nature. It's going to be about $35,000 to do that. And I'm hoping that we can push Marion County to do that. To add onto that $80,000, another $40,000 or $50,000 to make sure that they get that state-of-the-art computer lab and room there for those students at Martin University. We're going to push that very
Looking
hard.
forward to that.
Yeah, I am. I'm excited about it.
We had a great segment with Brian Roth, running for governor.
Yeah, running from governor. I heard some things I never heard before, but that's what politics is all about: hearing things you never heard before, seeing things you never heard
Well, it's
before.
different. He said it's not the issues, more so he wants to paint a picture.
Of the family.
Yeah, of the
Yeah,
family, which
right.
is great, and I think that'll come into sharper focus as he goes forward in his
Right.
candidacy.
And he sounds very convincing. He sounds very confident about what the Lord has him to do, because he did mention the Lord, and that's always a plus in anything that any man or woman does in their life. What do you think, Faye?
I agree. I agree with you.
And his wife was here in
Yeah.
our live studio.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful woman.
person. Yeah. It's, this is a great show, man, where we give people opportunity to come and share what they're wanting to do in the city of Indianapolis and other places. And I'm just happy that to be working with you two.
Likewise.
Yeah, we want everybody to know what we have here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we've got some great things here, and it's been great to be with you on this evening. We also want to encourage you to go to YouTube and look up WHMB TV 40 and subscribe.
And
Please
like
be sure
us,
to
man.
subscribe.
What are they going to like us at?
On Facebook.
I
Like us
love
on
when you
Facebook.
say that.
Thanks again. Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.
We love you.